One of the fastest ways to increase your revenue as an online coach is to increase your show rate for the calls that you have booked. The industry standard is 50% of the calls that book on your calendar will actually show day of. And that's pretty poor, right? If you book 10 calls in a week, you'll have 5 of them. If your close rate is 30%, you might sign 1 to 2 of them, okay? But if you can increase your show rate, right, where you have 10 calls and all of a sudden 8 calls are showing up and your close rate is the same, we've almost more than doubled the amount of sales that we're gonna make just off of the same amount of leads. Okay, so in this video, I'm gonna share with you what we're doing to have a show rate of 75 to 80% over the past 3 months. So let's go ahead and dive in. Okay, the first thing that's gonna help you increase your show rate is actually selling the call. Okay, hear me out here, because if people are just gonna hop on a call with you because they know that they're gonna get pitched an offer, there's a higher likelihood that they're gonna reschedule, no-show, or ghost. But if you actually can position the call as something that's going to provide clarity for that person, the likelihood of them booking a call is going to be so much higher, right? So if you're an online fitness coach, you might be able to audit or give a review of their current plan. And what that'll do is it creates problem awareness, right? I used to be a physical therapist or a treating physical therapist, and people would pay a lot of money just to come in and get an evaluation because they wanted the diagnosis. Right? They wanted to know what's wrong, right? That's why they get imaging, MRIs, X-rays, all of that, is they wanted to figure out what's wrong with me. I want to label what is wrong with me. And you can do that on a sales call without giving them the solution to it. And they'll still see a lot of value in that, because now that they know the problem, they can now look for solutions for the problem, which is AKA what your coaching service will do. So again, tip number 1 is you have to sell the call and really give them a reason for why they should come. Okay, why should they come to the call? For our business coaching program, what we've been doing is we've been doing marketing audits. Okay, so like, hey, come on a call, we'll pull up your Instagram, we'll give you some pointers, and at the end of that, we'll give them all the tips and stuff that's wrong with their account, and they're like, well, I want to fix this. And we're like, great, well, let's schedule another call where we can go over our offer in more detail. Okay, we do the 2-call model where you have a triage call or a discovery call that then leads into a sales call. And that works really well for us. And I find that works really well for newer coaches in the online space when they're, maybe DMing somebody or there's a new lead who just came in who doesn't really know you. So you can sell this first call, AKA discovery call, as a way to help somebody discover what their problem really is. Okay, so step number 1, sell the call. What is in it for them? The second thing that you can do to increase your show rate is going to be having manual confirmations. Okay, what we do is we do text confirmations 24 hours before. So if someone books on our calendar and they have a call at 3 p.m. on Tuesday, 3 p.m. on Monday, an automated message goes out and it says, hey, we've got a call with you tomorrow at this time. Can you just confirm that you're still good for that time? And if we don't get a response back, it is on our team to reach back out that night, before they clock off and get a confirmation. Okay, so again, if it's at 3 p.m., we don't get a response. If my sales team ends the day at 6 or 6:30, they're gonna shoot one more message because we want a manual response. If you do not get a manual response, the likelihood of that person showing up is probably 30% or 30% or less, honestly. And don't use the click here to confirm your appointment. It's just not as effective as them sending you a message. Now, to do this, you do need an app that's going to give you 2-way sync. So where someone can send it to you, you'll get a confirmation back. If you're using Calendly, from my past experience, they didn't have that feature. Maybe they do now, but what we use is Go High Level. And that's actually going to lead me to the next step. Okay. So step number 3, or strategy number 3 to increase your show rate, is to send text and email confirmations. And again, the software that we use for this is Go High Level. And to cover this point, I'm actually going to go ahead and jump in to Go High Level just to show you our automations that fire. Now, I've got it pulled up on my screen here. We've got a number of different calendars, like different sales reps, different promotional material, stuff like that. So they all go into the same workflow. And when a call is booked, we'll get notified in Slack, and then they'll get their text and email reminders. So here, I'm just going to go through the entire automation so you can see it. So message number one is a text message. And this is just, hey, contact name. Your call is scheduled at this date, at this time, and this time zone. You'll be talking with username, which is going to be the sales rep, whoever their name is, right? And your call will be held on Zoom. And here's the link to Zoom. That gets sent immediately via text. Okay. Then same time an email gets dropped and it's just, Kate, your call is booked. Add this to your Google Calendar. Very, very simple. We look forward to connecting. Very, very simple. Okay. So that's the first message that gets sent. And then we wait 24 hours before, and then the next message goes out. This is that manual conversation. Hey, it's Dr. Matt. I hope your day is going well. Just want to follow up with you that you're on for tomorrow's call at this time zone with this rep. It will be a Zoom call, so make sure you have good access to a computer with good Wi-Fi. Can you shoot me a message back to confirm you're good to go on your end too? Okay. We needed a yes for this. Next is going to be an email that's just saying, hey, we texted you. Did you get it? Right? Hey, just shot you a text confirming your Zoom call for tomorrow. It will be a Zoom, right? I keep saying Zoom because some people show up and they're like, oh, I didn't know it was a Zoom call. So I'm like very obvious with it, right? So make sure you have a computer and good Wi-Fi. If you haven't already, can you shoot us a message back to confirm you're good to go on your end too? We need a confirmation by 9 a.m. Central, the day of the call, to keep the call on the calendar. So please let us know so we can support you. That's a pretty key line here because like I said, for the previous step of sending a manual confirmation or getting that manual confirmation, I told you, hey, we shoot a message at 24 hours. And then if we don't get the response, we'll shoot another message at the end of day. And oftentimes in the end of day message, the rep can send this. They can say, hey, I didn't get a confirmation from you yet. Just need a confirmation by 9 a.m. tomorrow to keep the call on the calendar. And that increases the urgency of like, okay, yep, I'm gonna be there, right? And yep, we look forward to chatting with you soon, Dr. Matt. Okay, so that's at 24 hours. If we get a response, good. If we don't get a response, we send another manual message. Then the automations go out an hour before, and this one says, hey, this is the sales rep's name. Your call starts in 60. It's a Zoom call, so make sure you got good connection. Just shot you an email with a link in case you don't have it yet. And then chat in 60. And this goes, hey, it's a friendly reminder that your meeting with this rep is an hour away. Here's the link, Dr. Matt. And then 15 minutes before, we send another Zoom link. So that's our current flow. It works really well. Now, one thing I didn't mention and didn't talk about that I really want to hit on here is whenever you're booking a call, you only want to book like 3 days out. Okay, so today for us is Tuesday. So we actually have Wednesday, Thursday, and I think we have Friday open right now, but it's 3 days ahead of time. And some people actually just do like today would be Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or even Tuesday, Wednesday, because the further out it is, the higher likelihood that someone's going to forget about it, or honestly, it's going to be like what they originally booked a call for because they were in pain and they wanted help. It might not be as important anymore. So a really big point here is make sure to just have a limited window, and the shorter you can make it, the better, assuming you have a lot of availability. Now, if you have no availability over the next 3 days, you're going to probably want to open at least one day up so that you do have availability for somebody to book. But with that, if you noticed, a lot of the automations that I had here with texts and emails only really started at 24 hours out. So if you did have somebody who booked, longer than 72 hours out, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to keep in contact with them before the call. Okay, like it could be, hey, I was just thinking about you and wanted to shoot over a quick training I put together. It would be awesome if you could watch this before the call, right? And that's just like having a value touch point before you get to the call to continue to develop the relationship. Because again, like if someone books 5 to 7 days out, again, the likelihood of them showing up is just going to be like way, way lower than someone who books a call for the next day. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I need help. I'm going to book a call now. Versus, oh, I need help and book a call from a week from now. Man, I might have a sales call with somebody else and sign up with them by then, right? All right, so the next thing that I'm going to encourage you to do is whenever you have a booking link, that booking link should send an automated Google Calendar invite to their Gmail or Outlook, whatever they're using. Typically it's Gmail, and you want to have a confirmation, right? So like when I open up Google Calendar, I can see my name and I can see the name of the guest, and there should be like a green check mark next to it. I think it's green or blue, but we want to make sure we get that confirmation. And if we don't get that, that can be another follow-up that we send. Hey, just want to check back in. I didn't see that you were confirmed on the Google Calendar. Is that good on your end? Boom, great. Now, a pro tip for this is typically it's really good to get that confirmation in the Google Calendar when you're booking the call. Okay, so if you're booking the call in the DMs, after the call is booked, you can say, all right, cool. Does that pop up on your calendar? Because I'm not seeing a confirmation on my end. And they're like, oh, yep, just confirmed it, right? So you can do that in the DMs. You can also do it via text, right? So right after they let's say they book a call on their own and the automations fire like I showed you here, and the first one goes out, here's the link. Right after that, maybe 10, 20 minutes after, you can send a manual message saying, hey, just want to check back in. I haven't seen a confirmation on your end from the Google Calendar. Is that time still good for you? Just want to make sure it's blocked off in the calendar. Get a yes, okay? Just by getting more yeses, the likelihood of them showing up is going to be higher. Okay, so this next strategy that can help you increase show rate, not everyone needs to do this. I don't do this, but if I started to notice that my show rate was dropping below 70% on a consistent basis, I would do this. And it's sending a video message the day of, showing your excitement for the call. I don't take all of my calls anymore now, so it wouldn't work as well for me. Like my sales rep could do it. He could be like, hey, my name's Jared. Looks like we're having a call at 3 p.m. today, and I'm really excited to have this call. Here's what we're gonna talk about in the call. But he could do that, but it's not gonna work as well if it's not the face of the brand. So like if you're doing your own sales calls, it'll work really well. I stole this from Alex Hormozi's gym launch book, which is his his system for gyms, but they would do that for gyms. And they would just have it I think they had a pre-templated video. Hey, what's going on? Super excited. And they would send that out every single day. It would amplify the effect or the show up rate if you said their name in it and the time, right? So you could just block off 10, 20 minutes in the morning and just send all of the calls you have. You could send them, audio or video messages, text or DMs, and just send them all out that morning. Okay, that's definitely going to increase show up rate. Again, it's a little extra of a lift. We don't do that now, but we haven't had a true issue with our show rate. Okay, so last thing I want to mention, I only had 5 points to talk on here, and I kept adding things. I was like, oh, and this one, and this one. The last thing I want to mention is that we have our highest show rates from people that we talk to and manually book. Okay, what I mean by this is anytime I'm engaging with a lead in the DMs, and they book a call, their likelihood to show up is going to be way higher than that of somebody that goes to our website and books by themselves, because they've already spent time and built rapport with me in the DMs or also via SMS. We text our leads too, but we found that does increase show rate. So another thing that we have experimented with every once in a while is if somebody does book on our calendar without having a conversation with us, we'll often shoot them a message and ask them a couple questions about their application. Because our calendar booking software, it asks 5 or 6 questions before they book a call. And sometimes people book calls who aren't good fits. Or sometimes people book calls expecting a done for you service or a service that we don't offer, right? And they're like, oh, I want to, we've had one person book and be like, I want to scale to multiple locations. And we're like, hey, we only help people online. Right? And we typically help health and wellness coaches. Sometimes we'll get career coaches and financial, I've had a financial advisor kind of reach out and I was like, hey, this is our scope, but we'll often ask some questions about their application before the call. And again, just getting clear on that is also going to help you increase your show rate, and it's going to help you cancel calls that aren't going to be with candidates who are good fits. And you really just want to take calls that are going to be with people who are good fits so that you can use your time wisely. Because if you have an hour blocked off and that person doesn't come to the call and you're in call mode, man, you could be making content, right? You could be doing networking. You could be making more ads, running ads, and trying to grow your business that way. But if you have it blocked off on your calendar and no one shows up, more than likely what you're going to do is you're going to go all right, I'm going to go play on my phone, or I'm going to go sit on the couch, because your mindset was I'm in the sales mindset versus creation mindset. So that's kind of a good ending point, is that like, you own your schedule, and that's what's going to help you build a successful business, is by making sure that your blocked off time is used efficiently and effectively. And by increasing your show rate, that's what's going to happen, is you're going to have more calls that actually show. You're going to be able to make more pitches and make more sales. And in a time where you're not taking calls, you can prioritize marketing and growth and booking more calls and building a team, because that's really what's going to take you from 6 to 7 figures. All right. Okay, guys, so that's all I've got for today. If you guys like this, go ahead and smash the subscribe button. I create daily content just like this to help coaches grow and scale their online coaching business. If you want a more complete training on how to start and scale a coaching business, I'm going to have a link below to a free training, and it covers the 5 steps we take all of our clients through from start to finish so they can grow a coaching business that works with or without them. All right. So if that sounds interesting, click the link below, and we'll see you next time. Peace.